Hello, 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 and welcome once again to a Prog Reborn. My name is M. Kosler, and this is my progression style playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV. If you don't know what it means to have a progression style playthrough, you can always type in !intro for a link to my introductory video. If you'd like to know when I go live for these streams, subscribing to the channel is the best and easiest way to get those go live notifications. But you can also join the community Discord, !Discord in the chat should get you that link. And I just remembered now that I did not post the announcement for this in the Discord, so I'll do that right now. There we go. And like I said, you can subscribe to the channel, best and easiest way, or you can get those go live notifications from Discord by joining the community Discord. Both those links that I just mentioned can also be found in the video description below if you happen to be watching the VOD. Last but not least, this is not my first playthrough for the majority of this content. My main is up to date with patch 7.05. So if you're worried about any sort of spoilers between now and we're still going with now and the end of Endwalker, so now in patch 6.58, or any spoilers for publicly, well, I shouldn't say publicly available because that would include actual Dawn Trail stuff, but if there's anything that was talked about during the media tour that I included in on my spoiler warning previously, then this is the opportunity to scoot on out. Still going to be spoiler free on Dawn Trail stuff. If you'd like to know my thoughts on the Dawn Trail MSQ, the Dawn Trail raid, things like that, you can check out my other series on this channel, Let's Play Dawn Trail, especially the last two streams. The last stream that I did on Let's Play Dawn Trail was me going through the raid tier, normal mode story content, and the stream prior to that was me ending the MSQ and giving my thoughts on the MSQ at the end of that stream. But I'm going to attempt to avoid any Dawn Trail spoilers. If I do feel like it's important to talk about something Dawn Trail related when doing some content on this stream, I will give additional explicit warning. But anything else between now, patch 2.2, and patch 6.58, this is your blanket warning for spoilers. If you consider yourself in that area and do mind spoilers, then this is your opportunity to scoot on out. As far as what we are doing, ooh, interesting. Might give that a look to see what that looks like on the FC house here. As far as what we're going to be doing this stream, I think we're going to continue the usual of doing the Allied Society quests, continue working on our Book of Skyfall, and likely getting started with our big fishing journey. I do need to look up, because honestly I don't know. I haven't done a ton of big fishing on my main, So I do want to look up big fishing. Do I have to actually unlock that? Introduced in patch 2.2. Green rarity. They were not to be confused with large size. Yeah, whatever. Much harder to obtain. Unlocking. Gotcha. So there are some side quests that I can do as an introduction to big fishing. And it says when I get to Heaven's Word, I'll have to start getting the regional folklore for fishing. But it seems like during ARR, that is not a requirement. But yeah, I think we're going to start our big fishing journey on top of everything else we've been doing. I just sent out my retainers out for the next venture. Look down here. So let's go ahead and start heading toward the Sahagin. I mentioned in the last few streams that I would be paying attention more to sightseeing log stuff and possibly doing them off stream, and that is something that we did. I ended up getting 3 off stream. I see on the sightseeing log helper that the next one and final one of the first 20 in a Realm Reborn will be in about 4 hours, so not gonna be able to get to it on the stream, but I probably will get to it off stream and then be done with the first 20 in the sightseeing log. But we got a few. This one in Red Rooster Stead. The farmers of Red Rooster Stead will rarely shy from testing their agricultural acumen on exotic crops or untested growing methods, and take pride in their willingness to sacrifice a harvest if it means a better yield and autumn hence. The plantation's name is said to be taken from the bloody cockfights held after nightfall by the gamekeeps. A lot of these had very specific weather requirements, and especially like I think it's this one here, the Lonely Giant, was only up for an hour Eorzean time, which is like 15 minutes maybe. Maybe 20 minutes. I don't remember what the conversion is between these two, but it's a really short amount of time. So unless I got exceedingly lucky, there was no chance that I was gonna align with a stream for this kind of stuff. So I just happened to notice one day when I was playing on my main and jumped on over. The Lonely Giant. Local legend claims the Lonely Giant is everything from the ghost of a Sildin Sultan to the prototype for a new model of Garlean Machina. Uldan scholars, however, simply believe him a Kurthan Gobu who lost his bearing during the chaos of the Calamity, and after a long journey through the Black Shroud, died of exhaustion upon reaching Thanalan. And in the ruins of Silda, the city-states of Ulda and Silda coexisted for generations until 400 years ago, when bad blood festering betwixt the two sultanates culminated in the War of the Sisters, leaving Silda a smoldering pile of rubble to be claimed by the shifting desert sands. The subsequent relocation of Ulda placed the city-state nearly directly above her fallen sibling. We learn significantly more about Silda in the first variant dungeon that was released in Endwalker, the Sildan Subterrane, which I think was very cool. I do really enjoy the variant dungeons and the Criterion dungeons on top of them. So that was our 20s, and these are our 14s. Again, to keep these in line, we're going to only take 6, even though we could take another 3 over here. Some of that food. Summon Quay over here. And head on our Elpst. I got stunned. Oh, caught by this fella. All right, what do we got next? Like you. And still enjoying my time in Dawn Trail. Again, I'm going to keep it spoiler free. But I've been enjoying my time in Dawn Trail. Mostly been spending this week simply making money. I was planning on doing it via crafting. Which would have been pretty new to me. But I underestimated what I needed to be able to do crafting. I kind of figured it would have been a little closer to how you can get away with things in gathering. With gathering, you can, you know, as long as you buy the buy or make the high quality gear, you'll and just put in like any kind of materia, then you should be able to at least access the nodes to that spawn for gathering materials. And obviously, sure, you're going to, I figured it would be a little more effort, maybe a little more of a chance to fail or not craft high quality, but it would still been something. But when the servers opened back up, I jumped online real quick to see what it would be like. Was gonna start crafting my own main healing sets, but I didn't even have enough stats to craft the like middle tier mats for the pieces that I wanted. So I went back to what I had done in the past, which was just do gathering, and it's made me a decent amount of money. Honestly, the things that have made me the most money, though, has been just getting on hunt trains, because well, I'd have to look. I think they're called aesthetics. Let's see, right here. Yeah. The Elegant Tomestones of Aesthetics. Those mats, at least right now, still sell for like 30K a piece. So just being on top of hunt trains, making sure that you're doing your daily roulettes, things like that, end up earning you so much money. And I had already gotten all, at least for my main, my white mage, I'd already gotten all of the, aw, dang it. Okay, we've got a couple over there. That should be fine. I'd already gotten all of the tombstone gear that I needed for my main. I could have spent some on non-mains if I wanted to do something like tanking, or I was thinking about doing machinist as my DPS this tier. What else do I need to kill? I have to kill Shelf Eye Reavers. It's so annoying. I know I've talked about this previously, but this fate co-opting these enemies that aren't even a part of the fate. The only enemies that are actually a part of the fate are the Reaver right hands over there. You have to kill a number of those in order to get the boss to spawn. But since those extra enemies become co-opted by that fate, I can't even attack them unless I'm synced down to the fate level. Just a little bit of annoyance. What are we at on tombstones? We still sub 1K. You watched the last stream that I did, where somebody was complaining about my tanking gear. That so much of my tombstones have been going towards simply working on my relic. I think Bobu is the 20s. Yeah. And Bogu is the 14s. Okay, cool. I didn't check the Sahagin. What, if anything, new? Nothing, I was gonna say important, but it's not important either. But nothing that is, like a minion or a mount is unlocked yet. I think we're still only at friendly. We're not at friendly. What's our reputation at? No, we are at friendly. Smoky coal? Cool. Got a train coming by, so I'll finish my thoughts later. Like I said, I didn't really have much more to finish on the thought. Just on top of gathering, which at the moment the best money makers after the and die down from the push that people had toward getting week 1 crafted was, I think they're called Sun Gold Aether Sands. Those only end up spawning during the morning hours Eorzea time. So 12 of the 24 hours in Eorzea time. And then while they're, well, they don't spawn for 12 hours. They spawn for, well, no, I guess it's not 12 hours. Because I think it's like every other day, maybe? Because they spawn for 4 hours of Eorzea time at a 4-hour block. And then that rotates. But no, it's only 4 of the 4 hours. I don't know. There's some method to the madness. I could easily figure it out by looking up at something, but I'd rather not. But during the off time, when they aren't spawning, you go and grab the gather collectible turn-ins so that you can get your orange scripts that you then turn into more Sun Gold Aether Sands. And those are selling right now on my mains server. They're selling anywhere from 2 to 3K each. Your best money, just like in crafting, your best money for gathering is going to be hitting that market board early, the day that the tier drops, the patch that the tier is on ends up opening up, because there are honestly a lot more people who think that they need crafted gear than there are people who actually need crafted gear. And I shouldn't really say that. It's good to have crafted gear at the week 1 progression or whatever, but there are definitely more people who don't hit me. There are definitely more people who think they need crafted gear instantly than there are people who actually need crafted gear instantly. If you aren't really a world first progger, it's really not that important that you to spend a markup of like a 10 or 20x markup on your gear buying it super early. And even on top of that as well, from a gatherer's perspective, there are far more people who craft that crafted gear, who are trying to flood that market, and ultimately are what drive the price down significantly, than there are folks who need that gear right away. And another one? Okay. Gonna run this. When is this? Deliver the hot? No. This is Angry Acolyte. So this is the one all the way over here. If there's any way I can avoid this roundsman. And so essentially that huge market push of folks who want the gear super, super early means that you have this huge markup on the cost of materials, even for materials that you know, at the end of the day, like right now, day one, I probably could have sold Nepali flour for like 3K each, and now it's like on the market board for 99 gil each. But people just don't really know what's selling, what's actually worth it, this, that, and the other. Like for example, again, trying to, not gonna be specific on like anything story related to Dawn Trail, but something like your pots, your DPS pots, you know, with the release of, ooh, do I need to do this? I think I do. With the release of 7.50, there was a new tier of hidden control Q instead of shift Q. There was a new tier of pots that were released. And so if you were thinking that you needed all those pots for day one prog, you'd be paying top dollar for that. But if you have been following the world progression, at least from a world progression standpoint, the DPS checks have been not as, I'm not even gonna say not as taxing, almost non-present. So if you are a little more frugal minded, which would be basically anyone who's not caught up in that storm of needing pentamelted crafted gear day one, then you probably can get away with it wasn't even about that that fate there, but I mean, we got that thing, which will be useful another time. If you're a little more patient and upon seeing that at least for a world prog team, the DPS checks were basically non-existent, which typically means that for PF, there will still be a DPS check, but it won't be, it shouldn't be something that is really walling you. You can probably get away with using the pots, the previous pots. Here they're called a grade 1 gem draughts or something instead of grade 2s. You can probably get away with just using that. If you're, you know, parsing then maybe you're still going to want those grade 2s. But if it's just about clearing content, then it might not be that relevant to have the grade 2s. Which means that all those mats that are necessary for grade 2s might not end up selling for as much as they were, as you might have expected them to sell previously. Is there anything else back here? It doesn't seem like it. I think everything else we just turn back into Bago. We'll be done with the kobolds. Well, I gotta do something else with the saltpeter? Maybe not. Nah, looks like everything's done. I think all in all, that massive ramble that I've gone on is just, it eventually comes down, my recommendation comes down to, if you're looking to just make some money, do hunts, do your daily roulettes, spin your tombstones on tombstone mats, and you'll make a killing. You'll make plenty of money to just buy that crafted gear that you've been looking for instead of crafting it yourself. And as a crafter, you've probably missed the boat for getting that huge money. You'll probably still get a markup on your crafted gear compared to your mats, but it's not gonna be 5 to 10 times the price. So we're done with that. Done with both of those. Is there anything over here that I need to kill? Seems like it. We're looking for Ugamoro Berisman. One thing I have noticed since the last time I streamed was pre-patch versus post-patch. I haven't like studied, but just from anecdotal comments, it seems like as soon as the data center travel opened, everything went back to status quo. The status quo being the post data center travel status quo, where Aether has hundreds of party finder groups open for the Savage tier, and the other data centers are struggling to find groups, which is really unfortunate. I would have hoped, like I mentioned before, I would have hoped that folks would have seen that it wasn't really There isn't really a need to travel to Aether to get your clear. It's perfectly fine to be in your own data center to get your clear. But alas, it seems like we'll still believe that it's important to be on Aether. So we did our reputation grinds for today. I could do more relic weapon grind stuff, but I think given that I talked about big fishing, let's go ahead and just get big fishing started. So I can at least have a better idea of what I need to do. Whether I need to have something open. I shouldn't say whether. I know I will need to have something open for that kind of stuff. For tracking, you know, spawn periods and stuff like that. But let's see. Here we are. Yeah, so this is the introduction to big fishing. A salty stalwart is the acting guildmaster Sissipoo, but today she seems distinctly distrait. There you are, Em. Where have you been? Somebody tell you about the big fish? No, I don't mean him. Wawalago may be the guildmaster, but he's more the big lugworm than the big fish. In fact, he calls you the best fisher in the guild. That's why he wants to see you. Some scholars raising a hue and cry about a giant fish that needs catching. Refreshing, isn't it? It's actually serious business for a change. What will the morrow bring? Sharks spilling from the sky in a spectacular shower of scales? Oh, don't look at me like that. I'm the acting guildmaster after all. You'll find Wawalago at his usual spot at the docks. Might as well hear what he has to say. You're not like to lose by it, and I've sure had a bellyful. The reason she made that comment about don't look at me like that is because Wawalago does a lot of alliteration, as we'll hear in a moment. Asleen, the adventurer arrives with alacrity. This fellow you must follow. He is learned in lore and wise in the ways of worms. Yes, I'm Asleen. I am indeed learned in lore. That is to say, I study legends throughout Eorzea. Legends of what the common man may call giant fishy things. I gotta get some water real quick. I recently came across an ancient document which made reference to something called the Nepto Dragon. I should explain that by dragon, the ancients probably meant the giant fish, or possibly a shrubbery of unusual coloring. It's usually one or the other. But my Nepto Dragon was no plant, but for the Book of 3 notes it was twice man size. That is to say, twice as long as a Hur is tall, and tore through hulls of trading ships with its mighty teeth. It'll ever live, does it still? One thing is certain, if I ever find its home waters, it will not be I who hauls the mighty monster from its depths. I haven't the fortitude. To clarify, I fear water greatly. Even standing on this pier tests my will to its limits. That is why I am here, that I petition the aid of one such as yourself, who harbors no such fear. Terrifically told and totally true. He came to Wawalago, this learner of lore, but he found this fisher had faults. Too old am I to make after this monster of myth, though I do think I'm not completely diminished by my dotage. Or do you doubt it? I thought to myself, M's a one game guppy. Best of the bunch, borrowing myself by the bream. Now then, on to the old ones. I saw that flinch and the furtive flitting of fingers to some folksy charm. Suffice it to say, I speak of fish grown great in gloomy green depths. You've heard the chatters about these wily wizards of the water, I'm sure. But chatting is not catching. More fishers have heard the history than have hooked the hidden heavyweights, ho. Now, if what this learner of lore tells is true, this Nepto dragon will need a fisher who can fish an old one to order. So it falls to you to prove your prowess, pretty please. Master Wawalago, you've caught your share of these elder, that is to say, old ones, have you? Was that a quip or a question? A quick query to yourself, if you please. Why even ask when the answer is clear? Of course I've caught an old one. Notice I stress the singular, Even the master fisher of all Eorzea finds the old ones a heaving handful of hell. Where to begin? Ah, a titanic sawfish, an enigma to entertain even an eclectic expert. It enjoys a certain infamy in its immediate environment, shall I say. Other fish of its fraternity flip their fins and flee from it. You can find the titanic sawfish in Cape Westwind. You must mooch the monster if you're primed to pull it, or our cultured companion will couch his corrections. Now ready to reel, coddle to creel, use a lugworm to catch a Merlthor goby. Merlthor gobies are only the first bait to bag the best. Mooch it to net a wahoo, and you must maintain the mooch to manacle a titanic sawfish. A Pissy Pisces is this titanic sawfish, not a drop of doubt about it. Only appears when all aligns, the hour, the weather, the welkin's color. Should you net that titanic sawfish, no nugget of knowledge will I deny. I had much opportunity to observe old ones from an umiak, and you shall learn every detail. No easy feat, I know, but mine eyes have seen you master that mendacious marlin of Mazlaya, and that makes you a fisher second only to Wawalago. Alrighty, so we know, here. I gotta take a lugworm. We also don't know the timing on it. Does this thing have a link? There's a lot in Console Games Wiki for all this stuff. But I also know there's other apps. Carbuncle plushie. Let's see. Turning off everything that's not ARR. So I'm looking for sawfish in 3 minutes. Excellent. They said Cape Westwind, so we're heading back to... We're returning to the Waking Sands. Then heading over there. Well, that was added in 2.0. Hopefully my attributes are all good enough. What about my bait? Land real quick. I don't know if I have... I have no bait. Where do I buy lugworms? Lugworm. Might actually have lugworms. Let's head back to Mordona. Okay, it's not in there. So I have some... Probably on one of these folks. Sort. Doing eye search. Lugworm. Search for item. It's on the other retainer. Bloodworm, there's a lugworm. Alrighty. Right, putting that on the bait. Heading back to Horizon. Heading over here. Sawfish is still need only 1 minute. We're still 1 minute before it disappears. So I think how I'm supposed to read this is lugworm. I'm looking for just a normal bite. There it is. Okay. Closes in 17 minutes. So we're looking for a goby. Then I want to mooch that. Why can't I mooch it? Any patience? Oh, I'm supposed to precision hook set. Okay, so I can mooch this. And here I'm looking for a powerful hook set on a 2x. A 2 exclamation point. And that gets me the Wahoo. And then I'm looking for another powerful hook set on the 3. Two. Not what I'm looking for. So again, patient. Patient on this one. Mooch. The powerful. Mooch. To another powerful, hoping for a 3 exclam. Damn, only a 2x again. Precision. Mooch. Powerful on the 2x. Mooch. Oh, I don't have enough. Just have to hope. I need more GP. Mooch that. A chance to mooch. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Just trying to learn a little bit more about how this stuff works. Because I'm not a huge fisher, like I said, on my main. Precision hook set. Didn't even get a mooch. Throw it out again. Precision. Time ran out. I got 8 minutes on the window. Ended up being big enough. Okay, so I think we can go patience, cast. Precision. Mooch. More powerful. Get it. Do precision here. Try to get another one of these. But anything after this. I have to use regular hooks. There, okay. Patience, cast. Ouch. 5 minutes here. Oh, that's a 3. Not what we were looking for. Is insufficient gatherer rating to land this catch? Don't like the sound of that. The 2. It's the Wahoo, but we don't. Not big enough. Alright. Patience. Cast it back out again. Precision. Come on. My alarm for my nap is going off. But I can't get it yet. Mooch. The alarm just stopped going. Realize I'm not going to hit it. Mooch. I'm just going to have to get real lucky here. Only a 2. One more shot. Mooch. Go. Powerful hook set again. Give me that 3. Two. Damn. I gotta go turn off that alarm. What a bummer. Let's see, if I click on this. Give me anything about like a gatherer rating. Doesn't really say. Here, what about over here? Mechanic sawfish. At most 220. Seems like we have it. I don't have patience 2. Anyways. What a bummer. Also, thank you, Dow, for the good luck. I was looking at the fish tracking app. I didn't see it earlier. Okay, so it says the next thing's supposed to be in 2 hours. I'm not just gonna go randomly do big fishing stuff right now. We had our attempt on that one. Let's go switch back over here and try and get some of these fates out of the way. Mordona. Checking out some Discord real quick. Ah, 40 seconds. It's already over. But there should be a... Let's go check the other fate option. It's an East Shroud. Not seeing it up here. So instead, queue up for these dungeons: 1,000 Maws, Amdapor, and Hake. 1,000 Maws, Amdapor, and Hake Hard. And I imagine there's an enemy over here. There we go. Sylph Bonnets. I think they're right over here. Milk root clusters. Saplings. Was I wrong? Where are they? Sylph Bonnets. There's Sylph Bonnets. Okay. Bonnets down. Anything else in this side? Something in South Shroud. And there's all the kids. Ah, we were just at Cape Westwind. Guess we'll head back there. Go. Fisher still just going at it. I wonder if there are other fish over there. Or if they don't know how the window stuff works. Kill us all of them, we just need 3. Yep. Next is a couple more Dona. Southern Thanalan. I think Little Alamigo is probably good. Bronze tortoise? No, we're looking for iron tortoises. All right. And into Thousand Maws we go. Newbie Black Mage. Even sing Lolly Ho, right? I haven't gotten a truly low-level dungeon yet when leveling my Viper up in Dawn Trail. I I shouldn't say I haven't seen the true depths of despair, because I have done, as part of some of the Wondrous Tales, there have been, one of the options has been Deep Dungeon, so I've just been running Viper through Deep Dungeon 10 floors at a time per week. So I have experienced it a little bit, but when you're doing it as in Deep Dungeon, you're leveling up so fast that you're not really, you'll probably spend more time in 1,000 Miles of Totorak. Well, maybe 1,000 miles is a little too deep. Maybe Sestasha. Probably spend more time in Sestasha at level 15 than it will take you to reach level 15 in Deep Dungeons. It's still a little misery because, especially for AoE, but it honestly isn't that, like, for AoE, it isn't that much worse than what I'm doing here with my warrior. Just spamming a single button over and over. It'll be like that for AoE as a Dragoon up until sometime in Heaven's Word. I haven't done any Picto, so I can't tell you how good or bad that is at low levels. I am, from what I understand of Picto, even as you're getting levels, you're gonna end up, it's gonna just be replacements on the one button that you've been using. So even if you are technically getting new abilities or new spells as you level up, it'll feel like you've not gained anything because you're still just spamming one button over and over. We don't worry about pulling that stuff off of the healer. Your iron tortoise. This is just a bronze one. Let's just look. There's our last iron tortoise. There's one. More Dona. Clean these up. See if that fate spawned again. Nope. So there's one over here. Gigas Bickus. I suppose is how you pronounce that. Nope. Specifically, this is North Silver Tier, where we are. Could be right over here. Yep, there we are. It's another one of them. Yep. I imagine this person was just trying to leave Crystal Tower, not actually farming these things up. I'll have to wait for another one to spawn. Meantime, we can go get the thing over by the fog fins. Hoplomachy. Hoplomachus, I think is the singular. We're almost at 2 hours. I think probably once we finish this up, we'll call it a stream. Equus, there we are. Hoplomachus. The other side over here, no. Back there, no. There's one. More. Here maybe, nope. That fella here. Imagine this other thing will have spawned, and then we'll call it there. To figure out a little bit about big fishing, we also found a good site for big fish tracking, or at least spawn window for tracking. Cleaned up a little bit on our relic weapon. We continue to work on our reputation grind. Slowly but surely chipping away at patch 2.2. Definitely one of the bigger patches that we're going to be going through. And also with the reduced schedule for these Prog Reborn streams, it's going to end up taking longer than they had been. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the pace that I'm going at. Ooh, we got a misery cord. Isn't that a good parry weapon in Elden Ring? That's gonna do it for the stream. Thank you so much for watching. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like on the way out, I'd be greatly appreciative. If you'd like to know the next time that I go live, as always, you can subscribe to the channel. Best and easiest way to get those go live notifications. Or you can join the community Discord, !Discord, in the live chat, or find that link in the video description below. Yeah, just continuing the grind through patch 2.2. Gonna end up having to feed in a little more big fishing. Not party finder. The achievement that we are looking for. If I pull up my notes. The achievement that we're looking for in patch 2.2. They released... Where would it be? Character? Disciple of the Land? Maybe not Disciple of the Land. Exploration? No. Quests. Job role quests. No, what the hell is this thing? Not sightseeing log. Crafting and gathering fisher. Certainly this. This one, Go Big or Go Home 3. So we're gonna need to get 37 different varieties of big fish. before we can move on out of this patch. For our sightseeing log, we need 80 total. Only one more is available before we can unlock the remaining 60. And it'll be a lot more Fast and Furious for the next 60. But then, just like for before, just like with all this stuff, it'll end up slowing down quite a bit as we run out of options to choose from. But yeah, that'll do it for me this stream. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you